sounding?
It's actually sounding pretty clear. It's actually sounding pretty good. Well, hello everybody and welcome back. This is NAAP, another anime podcast, otherwise known as, would it be NAAP?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. NAAP. I'm your co-host, Lewis, and we got James on the line too.
Yeah, what's up? Everybody, I'm James.
Rick James. I'm Rick James.
I'm Rick James, snitch.
So today, where'd it go?
So we got any hot takes? I was trying to look up some.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get any hot takes.
So
Let's see.
I got a hot take of my own, but since I'm only on 8 episodes in, I have to give it a fair chance. So I will try to get to 10. But I'm 8 episodes in from Fruit Basket. I've been watching, but I started watching that though like 3 years ago, I believe. And it's very slow and boring.
Is it one of those slice of life?
It is. It's kind of, but it still has some fantasy aspect to it though.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I think Didi might have seen Fruits Basket, but I know it. I don't know. It's one of those ones that I've seen like over and over again, and I just haven't watched it. I'm like, oh, Fruits Basket. Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody says it's really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do they say?
And I was interested until about like episode 6, and then I lost interest. I don't know what it was. I just lost interest, but I thought through to watch 2 more, and then I just dropped it.
Dang, so you got through 2 more episodes. Sometimes for me, I'm just like, I don't know if I can. Well, there was one. I think there was one that got me. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But yeah, did they say, like with Fruits Basket, did they say what they liked about it? Like, what do people generally like about it?
I'm not even sure what they like about it. Like a lot of people they would say like one of those really sad ones, tearjerker ones.
Oh.
Yeah, and one of the top animes in that genre.
Now I'm like, what other animes are in that genre? Because I don't even know what that would. What does Fruit Basket? What does that fall under?
Shoujo.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't know. Sometimes shoujos can be pretty boring. I haven't seen too many of them, but well, you think you're gonna finish the rest of it? You think you can get through it?
Who knows? It might get better. It might get my interest again because I already had my interest at the very beginning. So
okay,
they can get it back. Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even tell you what it was because it's been so long since I dropped it. It just did not. I had it all downloaded and everything, and I was like, undelete. I mean, I was like delete. I need room for my other stuff that has my interest.
Yeah. I'm like, look, after 8 episodes, 10 episodes, if it ain't got you by then, it probably won't.
Yeah, because if it's not an adventure, like it's different when it's like an adventure anime,
right?
Versus one that has it doesn't seem like there's an adventure or there's a point. Like where's the story going?
Right. Like what's the goal?
Yeah, it didn't catch me.
Yeah.
It eluded me, I should say. I won't put it on the story. I put it on me. Like I wasn't able to grasp it.
I like that.
There.
I like that. I'm gonna have to start putting things that way myself too, because somebody out, like you said, somebody out there really likes it. So,
right.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, that's my hot take for the day. So when we get into it, so since this is a podcast about anime, and the other episode we just kind of talked about, like if this is your first time tuning in, usually we just talk about a show that is pretty short series, like no longer than like 30 episodes or something, and it's like the anime of the week. That's what we call it. And me and Lewis will watch it, and then we'll just talk points about it, explain what was happening, what we liked, and how it connects to real life. And so our conversations can be very lighthearted and it can be very deep.
Right, which often they are. To be honest, is kind of a therapy session for me and James. So at least it is for me. So, but also, I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way we do about certain things, and if this can touch somebody else in any sort of way, or if it resonates with anybody else, or that's cool too. But so today we're going to be talking about the history of anime, not like in a very deep kind of way, but just a very high level, the history, the subgenres, comparing generational big threes, and the influence it personally has over us. That's the prompt that James has given us for today.
So first thing is first is, what is anime?
Right. Which, because that question itself is highly. If you're listening to this podcast, you already know it's a big question. Just what is anime? Period. And a lot of people have their own opinions on it. And anime really is weirdly. It's just something that when you see it, you just know it. Because I have literally tried to describe anime, but I'm like, but wait, this anime doesn't fit that description, but that's still anime. So then I try to describe that, but wait. And there's always like this. So like if you go with the, a main part of anime is the eyes, like very expressive eyes. Yeah. But there's plenty of animes where they don't have those expressive eyes, but that's still anime. Mm-hmm. Or like the crazy anime hair, like when you think about Pokemon and a lot of these others, Dragon Ball Z and stuff, where they got crazy hairstyles. But like that doesn't fit all anime. So it's just like, I don't know, literally how to define.
So we found this article, and also when you like really just type in anime, so if you go to Japan, anime is just anything animated. Any cartoons or anything. So they even probably call like any of our cartoons that was imported to them in anime.
So like Disney, like classic Disney, Dexter's Lab, anything from like pretty much like what you said, anything that's animated.
Right.
Anime is the short form of animation of that's why.
Exactly. Yeah, but then it became so since it became such an export for them, a major export, and it's coming into other parts of the world, anime is always associated with Japan in their style of animation, in their artwork, like animation and manga. Yeah. Like that is always anywhere else around the world, anime is that. And so I'm like, over the years, how it got so big that now Japan is taking down that as well.
Yeah, right. Right.
So at first, it was just anything that was animation in Japan, but since it became their style, how they have this particular artwork style, like Lewis was talking about the eyes and the small nose, little neck, like bra type body or something, and it became its own thing and exported. So it's crazy, and it's a big cultural phenomenon now.
Yeah.
And cross cultures,
just getting bigger and bigger. And also I think it's because anime just has the ability to capture certain stories that you just don't find anywhere else. You just really don't.
Yeah.
Different man, like just I can't even like there's just crazy stuff in anime that I feel like only anime can really do well. And I don't know how to really describe it. Like James, you're gonna have to help me out with this one, because this one is hard for me to really flesh out.
Since we'll get back into like describing the animes and stuff and how that further down, or can just get down to it if you want.
No, just whenever it pops up. But we can go into your next.
Yeah, step. So now it was like, so now that we know what anime is, it's just a Japanese manga animation. Like that's what anime is.
I'm glad you
from Japan.
I'm glad you brought up manga, because anime it got its start in manga. Like it's I don't know. I can't speak to that history specifically, but I do know most anime comes from some form of manga, which is Japanese comics. It's just 2D, black and white, mostly black and white. Some of them can be color, but traditionally and historically it's just been black and white, just cool stories about people doing incredible things. And so it's really an artwork. It really stems from an artwork, but I think a lot of people still struggle to see it as an art form.
Definitely. Yeah, so basically, all manga is the Japanese culture has their own style of artwork, like paintings. What was it called? It was ukiyo-e, I believe.
Yeah.
Ukiyo-e.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister, most definitely.
Yeah. So their painting style it's called ukiyo-e, and it got mixed with our Western comic book form.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then it became manga. And then in the early, it was the 19th century, they had started to bring those stories to life. And then in the 60s, that's when anime started to be more expanded on and have all these other subgenres and stuff. Yeah, that's like the early history of it, shortened down. I didn't really get into the nitty gritty of it just because that can get boring.
Well, also because it's a lot. It is
a lot.
It's just like Western comic books, the golden age, like Superman and Batman and all that, and how today there's like literally hundreds of thousands of different of these comic books. There's a history to our comic books, so there's of course going into it for Japanese comic books is just as extensive, and so it would take. I thought it would take quite a lot to get into that, but
exactly. But yeah, so anime based off mangas. Most of them, today's anime anyways, are mostly based off of a manga, and the people who write these mangas are called mangakas, and they're referred to as senseis when they're addressed. And the best mangaka in the world, you already know, is Oda Sensei.
James is very biased.
I'm very biased.
There's thousands and thousands of other people that will agree with him, so he's backed up.
We'll call him Goda.
Yeah. Oh my God.
or God Oda. That's what Goda is. I forgot his other name, but that's the only one I can remember right now. Goda.
Another very popular, I don't even know if he writes manga anymore, but the Dragon Ball creator, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
The article you sent me, I was just reading that between him and Oda, Dragon Ball and One Piece has sold like over 100 million mangas each over the years, and it's just like that's pretty crazy.
It was 1 billion, right?
Something like that. Yeah, whatever number, it was a lot.
Yeah, I got it written down. That's one of the things I was about to mention. That's why we'll get back to that, because it's backed by numbers, guys. What my statement was, even though I'm biased, but also the numbers are biased as well. But so now we know that anime is just like a Japanese form of entertainment that are based off of mangas, like the Japanese version of comic books, mixed with their own style of paintings back in those Edo period, all that. And it became really popular once they opened up the borders again. And if you don't know about Japanese and the border being closed and all that, that's something you can do on your own time. We're focusing on anime. Alright, so the types of anime, so there's shoujo, which literally translates to young woman. Shonen, young man, or young boy. Yeah, shoujo, young girl. Shonen, young boy. Seinen, youth. Yosei, seems like it should be josei, but I'm pretty sure the J is like a Y. So I might just say yosei. And that meant, I think it was like young woman or woman, female. And then Kodo Momuka.
That's what.
And that is kids.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if the literal translation for it is, but I just know it's for kids.
Okay.
I
didn't know that.
So shoujo are animes that are usually have a female lead. The target demographic for those stories or that genre is for young girls between the ages of 12 to 18.
Would you say...
And,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so usually the subgenres within that genre is like romance, drama. There's some other ones, like, and it can be fantasy or whatever. But most of the times it's just romance, drama, slice of life.
Do you have any good examples?
Yep, I do. So for the shoujo, most popular ones are Sailor Moon, Fruits Basket, Violet Evergarden, Banana Fish, and Kaicho wa Maid-sama. I've only seen Sailor Moon and a little bit of Fruits Basket.
Same. I've only seen Sailor Moon, but Sailor Moon has quite a bit of action in it as well.
Yep.
And it definitely doesn't. I feel like it doesn't follow most kinds of shoujo, and it's definitely it's almost shonen, but like the themes in Sailor Moon are still very shoujo. Like they deal with relationship issues, they deal with boyfriends, they deal with like body image issues. There's always some sort of lesson that Sailor Moon gives, and it's like I don't know. I kind of like that blend. I wish there was a few more that kind of were shoujo shonen-ish,
Yeah, and then also within that subgenre of shoujo is usually the yaoi or yuri, and that's the LGBTQ plus story.
Gotcha.
And so it'll be in shoujo.
Would that be like Yuri on Ice? Would that be like one too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And then the most popular one that we know here in the West is shonen. Actually, that's all over the world, shonen.
Yeah.
Like, even people who have never even heard of or are not even watching anime, they probably heard shonen.
Yeah.
Like, they probably heard that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically shonen, young boys, the target demographic is the 12 to 18-year-olds. And a lot of those themes, the subgenre theme is like action, adventure, fantasy, drama, sci-fi, like, and it's usually centered around a protagonist that's male and about his adventure of becoming like better. They always have the strong themes of family, friendship, like all that.
Yeah. It mostly features a high school age boy, sometimes middle school age boy, but usually he's like in the middle of high school, and he's always got these insane some sort of skill set that just makes him like low-key OP, and he goes on this journey to like discover himself in various different ways, which is interesting. And sometimes I wish there were more. Like, it always seems to be I don't know. That's shonen. I'll get off. I could go.
Yeah, the most popular shonens is Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Dragon Ball series, and Hunter x Hunter.
And My Hero is getting up there too. I don't know.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
I don't know where it stands in terms of popularity of those other ones that you mentioned, but
right.
Oh, and Demon Slayer too. Yeah.
Yep. And so there are some shonen though, like you were saying, how Sailor Moon kind of floats between shoujo and shonen.
Yeah.
Like, there are some that have the protagonist of a shonen is a female. Like, there are some. Like, the one I can think of is a Kami ga Kill. Or, well, actually, that might fit in more ecchi though, because they have some. Yeah, that's more ecchi and seinen.
There's also Kill la
Kill la Kill though. But they didn't really show nothing though. But Kill la Kill.
That's definitely shonen to me. It's definitely. I really can't think of any other ones that have a female lead character. It would take me a minute to find one.
Would you say Natsu or Lucy was the main protagonist of Fairy Tail?
I would say Natsu.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the only reason I asked that because Lucy, she was the one who started off the story.
And see, well, I feel that way about Dragon Ball as well, because
Bulma still started off the story.
She's the one who kicked it all off, and like without her journey to find the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Super, all of it just does not happen without Bulma on her search for the original Dragon Ball set, and her brilliance. So I can see I haven't seen that much of Fairy Tail to know about Lucy's character, but sometimes That's interesting. Sometimes there are side characters that fit more the main character role than even the main character does. Sometimes. So, but that's maybe a different conversation.
Right. And so the other one is seinen,
which is it's starting to be my favorite genre.
Cause you got a Dark Soul, Lewis, no. Yeah, I was shocked to think that seinen mean youth, though. I always thought it was something different.
Yeah.
The way when I hear it, I just hear insane. Because the stuff that be on those screens are insane.
Like it's seriously. I think a really good one is one that'll challenge your soul. Like it's one that'll like really challenge you emotionally, mentally. Like you for real gotta take a break sometimes from some of them. Not all of them, but some of them can get pretty out there. And I am talking about Evangelion. That one is Anyway,
I haven't watched that.
I don't even know if it is it is a shonen, but it leans more towards seinen, or however you pronounce it, because it definitely has way more mature themes than just like Dragon Ball Z or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But at the heart of it,
you just mentioning that though is how it's more mature and more mature themes. Yeah, so these are targeted towards adult men.
Yeah,
the seinen, and usually it is almost like the exact same as shonen, except that it's heightened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It goes to the extreme, so there's no restrictions to the story, so they can show like more erotic things, more violence, more gore. They have that psychological aspect to it that really makes you challenge morality, values, or life values, and right from wrong. Like it blurs the line.
And it doesn't, a lot of them, the writing is a little more complex. Like, they don't necessarily tell you everything. Sometimes it's up to you to read between the lines or to like piece things together yourself. It's not a straightforward, hey, this person's doing this because of this, or this event happened because of this. They don't always have that side character giving the little speech. Oh, this is what that character must be doing. That's why they're powerless. It's like you don't really get so much of that, and it's just more like, which is why I appreciate it more. And just my little soapbox is I know a lot of these are marketed and targeted towards a certain demographic, like men and like teenage boys and things like that, but pretty much a lot of people like shows like like Attack on Titan or Cowboy Bebop, or whatever other one might fall under it. So even though
a lot of these all these genres, like even though the target demographic is one thing, but both both sexes and all the genders, they eat it all up.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yes, there are still grown people watching the Kodomo
and more power to them. If you're watching anime geared towards kindergartners or first graders or second, whatever it is, it's like that's fine. Anime. There's something to anime that is just very.
I'm still gonna give them the side eye, but it's like you guys
But anime can be comforting in whatever form it takes. So I'm like, hey, if it does it for you, go ahead. But like James said, I might side eye you a little bit, but you do you. Because hey, I used to watch like Blue's Clues. I used to watch like Dora the Explorer with my little sister and Miles and stuff. It's like, hey, it is what it is.
Is this you coming out as a brony?
Yeah. I can't do that. That one I can't do. I looked it up and I was like, this is trolling. This is people trolling other people. That's what this is.
You would think so. There's a whole community though. I think this is beyond trolling.
They done bought into it. Now it's actually a whole culture.
It's wild. I
don't want none of them coming after me. It's like, hey, if you into it, you into it. But I am low-key judging you.
I'm judging you 100%, 10 toes down.
Maybe that should be another segment. Is our guilty pleasures.
Yeah. Popular seinens is Berserk, Vagabond, Vinland Saga, Monster, and Kaguya-sama Love is War. Ultra romantic. And the only ones I've watched is Vinland Saga and Monster. Monster was so boring.
Oh dang! Is that the one with the doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was doing something shady.
He wasn't a shady person. It was this other person he was trying to catch, who was a killer. But this man was so suave, but so evil, and I can't even remember the whole storyline. I just know that he committed so many evil acts. But this doctor was the only one who was picking up on the clues, I guess, because of the main antagonist, who was evil and stuff, was always leaving a breadcrumb for him to follow.
Oh wow!
Him alone, I think, something like that. I watched it when I was in college, and I say it's boring because I could not follow along what was happening. And it was the fact that I watched 70-something episodes, and I wasn't satisfied with the ending.
70 episodes, dude.
It was like 70-something.
James, that's some dedication. But
that's because the person who recommended me, I was working with him, and he was just swearing by how good it is.
Yeah.
And how psychological it was.
Yeah.
I didn't catch anything.
Well, see, now I'm gonna have to find it and watch it myself to see for myself, because
I might have to watch it again too, because honestly, I was just too immature.
No, what did you say earlier? What did you say? It eluded you?
Yep, it eluded me. The story, what was happening, eluded me. The premise, the themes, I was just like, why is the doctor so obsessed with this man?
Yeah. See, there are some, this isn't even just for anime for me, but sometimes it's just like, there's one little detail that actually unravels the whole thing for me. And if it's something like that, where it's like, I don't know why this dude is even doing this in the first place, like, why does he care? Then I'm like, okay, this whole story doesn't make sense to me, because I keep thinking about why is he so obsessed with this dude, or, whatever it is.
Even though I can't remember the specifics, but when I saw the end of Squid Games, did you watch Squid Games?
No, but you can. I don't mind spoilers.
So at the very end, there was a man. I won't say who it was. He had an out, and then decided to turn around to rejoin. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah. Like no good reason for him to turn around.
There's no good reason. If there was a good reason, the reasons not to turn around and to go forward were stronger.
Yeah, see, that's plot armor. It's like, don't just have him turn around just because you want...
And now season 2 is happening.
Dang.
And I'm just like, there can still be a season 2 without that person. So...
Yeah, right.
And then that reminded me, but I can't remember the details. I just know it's like, you have an out, there's no reason to go down this road. Still make yourself suffer.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yep. Vinland Saga, I'm on season 2, halfway through it. Very good. A lot of people don't like season 2 because of how slow it is, because he's just farming and there's not a lot of action. But I learned a lot. But it's very gory.
Oh, so it's still gory even though there's are you talking about overall, or is the second season gory too?
Oh, I'm saying overall.
Oh, okay. I wasn't gonna say. Yeah, I need to get into Vinland Saga. I've also heard good things about it, and it looks pretty good too. So, But yeah, another reason I like this particular genre is because it feels a little closer to just regular drama. It's just like, okay, I can tell this is a little more a mature audience, and there's such a wide range of different topics. Okay, so you mentioned Berserk. But then Berserk is different from this one called Mushishi, which is just about this spiritual guy going from village to village, hoping to solve these more or less spiritual issues that arise. And it's not actiony, it's not anything like it, but it's a very narrative-driven story. There's a lot of cool folklore. There's a lot of cool just ideas surrounding like spirits, well, like, you know, their definition in this particular show of what a spirit is, called Mushi, and things like that, and how they affect human interaction, all the weird things that they cause harm, sometimes good stuff to humans. It's like, but then you turn on and you watch something like Steins Gate, which we talked about in our first episode, which is totally different from Berserk, you know. So there's like all these different, and I'm even thinking about Big O, which has like a mecha kind of component to it because he's in a giant robot. But the whole show is about how the whole town has lost their memories, and but they're still, you know, living their lives. And how do you identify yourself if you can't even remember who you are? Like, who are you without your memories? That's like the whole show, you know. So this whole genre, and me and James were saying all of this just to give you examples of how deep and how layered anime can be, and how there literally is something for literally everybody in anime. Even if you don't like anime, even if you don't like cartoons, there's, I don't mean to cut you off, James. I'm sure you got, you know, some more other genres.
No, you good though. You right in it.
I was just even thinking about like Studio Ghibli, and you know, there's anime movies. There's whole genres of anime movies that don't necessarily fit into these categories either, but they're more artistic. They're more like, you know, just more classic cinema, more classic film kind of a feel to it. Or even or like Satoshi Kon, who produced Perfect Blue, which is one of my favorite anime movies of all time. That was a doozy. There was a plot twist in that just kind of man, it's one of the best plot twists I've ever seen.
It's called Perfect Blue?
Yeah, Perfect Blue. Yeah.
I gotta check that out. I haven't heard of that.
No, it is good. It's
even better than the Your Name twist?
To me, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you see it. That Your Name twist, that was, if I'm thinking about the twist you're thinking about, I think it's better. And it's more impactful because and I will give you a warning, there's a rape scene in it. So she's an actor. So she's an actor. So she's scene, but so of course, and they don't, it's not like it's like a bunch of dudes like, you know, grabbing at her and stuff, and it does get pretty intense. They might show some boobies. I think they do. But it gets stopped, but it's one of those weird things where it's like she's an actor, and it all still ties into the story. So it's not like a weird, oh, here's a random scene, but it's like, okay, this scene is actually, it's like actually showing. So the whole movie is kind of about this play between reality and like the fantasy world, and like what's real and what's not real. And so this scene is very much, this is an acting scene. It's not real, but the way they present it in the movie is like, it makes you feel uncomfortable because you're like, is this not real? Because this is starting to feel very real, like this is actually happening to her, and like something feels off about it. But there's, you know, a whole plot twist with that and stuff too. So it's like, and I just say all that because, you know, this is anime. This isn't, you know, and that's, you know, and there's also, you know, Satoshi Kon has done, I think it's called, not Tokyo Godfathers. It's called, there's one about homeless people, this trio of homeless people. I forgot the name of it. He also did Paprika, which was pretty good too. That's also one of those really wildly fantastical, like people are in the dream world. So when they're in the dream world, like all this weird stuff is happening, but they're all kind of a mystery, you know, that he's trying to solve with it. So, but that's why it's one of my favorite genres, the seinen or whatever you. And I don't even know if all of those fall within that category, but it's just like, you know, just another genre.
Dude, like, cause these are just the 5 main ones, and then underneath every 5 of them, they share the exact, like any other type of form of video media, like movies, cinema, or television. You know, all those shows, like all the same. Same type of genres within these 5 main ones. And so, and then there's Yosei. We didn't talk about Yosei yet.
Yeah, that's one I don't know either.
Yeah, so that one is for the 18 and up for women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Yosei refers to woman or female. It's the equivalent of seinen for adult men, but for women. these type of shows usually include like relationships in a realistic way, in their challenges in their life, and then also just like the shoujo has those LGBTQ plus storylines as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like the shoujo, but more realistic.
Got you.
So the grown women can like really see themselves in it. So this is more of like those, because they can have those ecchi or erotic as well type things. But it is, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so Yosei is the most popular ones of those is the Descending Story, Showa Genroku, Rakugo Shinju, Usagi Drop, Princess Jellyfish, Chihaya Furu series, and then Kids on the Slope. I never heard of any of those.
I think I might have heard the Princess. What was
Jellyfish?
it? Yeah, I think I
Princess
might have.
Jellyfish.
But those other ones, nah. Yeah, see, I'm gonna have to look that up because maybe I might like that genre too. Cause
it's just one of those where it's usually an adult female and like probably college age to working class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they in the working force and the different challenges that comes within Japanese culture. You know, and a lot of people around the world can really. Especially in the capitalistic system.
Right.
I relate to.
I wonder if Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That's the only one I can maybe think of where the main character she's a working class woman. You can tell she's maybe in her 30s. She lives alone until of course the dragon shows up and becomes her maid. There's definitely a lot of ecchi stuff in it. Is it ecchi or ecchi? Ecchi stuff in it. Yeah. But it's not like, so I don't have to look that one up. But I know that one is a little controversial too. But
yeah, I never heard of that one.
It's good until it's one of those where like 99% of it is like excellent until you get that 1% that makes you go, what are you doing? What just happened? Why does this little child-sized dragon have titties bigger than her head? Like what? The dragon's not a child.
I knew it had to be one like that when you said that. I was like, I know it. Yeah. There was this one I was starting to either I was reading it or I was watching it, and then I saw what had. I was like, "Yep, can't watch that." I think I told you about that.
You'll have to remind me. I think you did.
It was like a kiss something. It was like something kiss or whatever. So basically, the main character is a guy, and he fights against these, I believe it's demons or whatever. And so he has a high school girl that's always around him and like cleaning up for him and all that because he's unemployed since he does his freelance work and it's not that profitable. But she's very powerful. But the way to get her powers turned on is for them to share a deep kiss.
Wow. What?
This man is like 30-something or in his late 20s. I can't remember which. Either early 30s or late 20s. High school girl. And then for her to get her powers turned on and go to work, they have to share a deep kiss. I'm just like, I can't do this.
No.
This is not okay.
No. I can't. No.
I can't. Like, if it was a peck or something, I was like, I can look past it. They was busting a swat. All that. I was like turn it off. I'm like, dang it. This could be really good. The storyline was great.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was setting up to be really great. I was just like, dang.
Yeah. See, that is for me truly the one caveat to watching any anime is sometimes you'll get one that'll like slap you with a wait, what just, dang it, now I can't watch this. Like you just said, James, it makes you how strong are my morals? Like, can I put up with this versus, the rest of the great anime? Is this kind of small thing? Is this small? Is it a lot? Like, sometimes you're like, I can kind of look past that sometimes, but most of the time it's like, no, I can't do this. The whole high school girl, grown man thing, that's
and it's definitely a cultural thing though, because I was telling Jamal this about how far removed our culture is from teenagers marrying the grown man. Even though for the most part there are still cultures around the world that's acceptable.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that Japan is one of those cultures that is still acceptable.
Oh, okay.
And also, they are actually, the young children are raised to be more independent anyways.
They are.
They're younger age, like there's middle schoolers, high schoolers going to high school, and they live alone.
Yeah.
And their parents live in like the country or something.
Yeah. And even, because, as we're getting ready for little dude to show up, Dee, we've been talking about how to, just get them used to life skills from jump. Don't baby them, but from jump. 1 year old, you're washing your dishes. Like, of course, we want to sit there and do it with you.
Right.
But getting you into time to wash our dishes. Yep, time to fold our clothes. Yep, time to, hey, your allowance, taxes, here's how you save up. Here's how you pay off bills. Here's how you do all these life, so that, like you said, by the time they're in high school, they know a lot of this stuff, and they're not like,
they got their own bills, they paying for their own, like rent. Like the rich kids, they are more dependent on their children, their parents. But they live in poor, they gotta have that work school balance already in middle school and then high school. And I think it's illegal actually for middle schoolers to even have a part-time job in that part of the world. I'm not sure if I'm mixing Korea with Japan. I could be, but still.
Yeah. And it makes things easier on the parent, too. If you work in your job, your husband or your partner, I'll just say, you work in their job and, come home, you got to cook and clean. Hey, if your kid can help you do all that stuff when they're like 6, 7 years old.
Right.
Younger? Yeah. Yeah. Little 4-year-old, hey, you go pick up the living room. I'm gonna clean this kitchen. Your mom got the bathroom. Like, let's do this. Like,
Yeah, so that's why there's a lot of those themes though in all these genres. Of adult ogling a younger, like, what we'll say child, but really teen. Teen young adult.
Yeah, but you just don't really see that much of it happening with boys or with males. Like, I'll see a lot of kind of pervy stuff with teenage females, but like when it comes to teenage males, because it's like mostly shonen that does it, only shonen that does it really does the pervy stuff. You don't really see it happen to boys that much. I'm sure there's examples of boy fan service. Male
and then the ones that are outliers, though, that it still shows up in all these genres, though, is the grown person doing it to an actual kid. That's not a teenager.
That one,
and even the Japanese be like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
but it still gets like greenlit and all that. I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So sometimes you just gotta be careful what you watch, but.
Yeah, the biggest one I can think of, though, is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, that
there was a grown man and a grown woman trying to get gone.
That was, the grown woman, both of them. Now, with Hisoka, I can, because Gon is strong, and I can tell Hisoka...
He was just weird about fighting strong people.
Yes, but because of how it came across, it was very...
Right. I would say though, when I watched it in Japanese, like sub, I didn't really get the whole vibe of pedophilia. Okay. It was when it was dubbed, and I was like, oh yeah, that is very suspect.
Yeah.
Go.
Because it's because of how he talks. If you hear how he talks in any other part of the show, he talks the same, but when he's talking about a little 12-year-old boy like this, like, okay, I need you to chill. I need you to come on now. But now the other woman, I don't remember her name, but I'm like, you are full on a grown woman. Like, come on now.
Yes.
Stop the madness. And it's actually the same in Fire Force. I don't know how old this woman was. She was one of the captains. She ended up having a crush on the main character. And I'm like, you are full on a grown woman. This dude is still growing his mustache in. Like, what are you doing? What is going on? Not okay. The whole thing with lollies, you know, I don't know. People who like that stuff say that it's not sexual, but I'm like, it's real borderline. It's real borderline. You know, so yeah, just for me, anything with anybody that looks pre-adolescent or, you know, however you say it, just leave it alone. Just to be on the safe side, just leave it alone. Yeah.
Speaking on that, those type of genres, we won't really get into that. The ecchi and hentai, that's another side.
That is full on another side. Even hentai is. So I'm sure most people know, but just in case, hentai is the porn version of anime. Yes. But the type of porn that they get into is just like, okay, y'all need some help. Like, y'all need some therapy kind of stuff, you know. But, you know, so sexual stuff is also very psychological, and like you're seeing in it. But as I understand it, it's due to the girl wanting to appear to not be lewd or not be, you know, we would say fast. You know, she doesn't want to come across as being, you know, overly sexual. So she has to put on a front to not want it. And the guy pursues her and he's like, no, you want this. You don't take it. And then she pretends to not want it. And then within a few minutes, she's like, okay, yeah, I actually did want this. And then it turns into it. And it can be very off-putting for somebody who's not in that culture, and you just kind of have to understand a little bit of the cultural differences. But still, sometimes when you see it, it's like, man, this is like, ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to get into the last genre, but just know the other one, Kodomomoku, those are 12 and below, and the most popular ones is Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yep, named for the school-age children in the elementary school. Those are lighthearted, very fun. Can't really tell what the story is as a child.
Yeah.
We were introduced in the West. We grew up on those shows.
Especially
like
Pokemon
they was coming on.
Yeah.
and stuff. Toonami, all that. Like.
Yeah.
And then Toonami switched, and it was all just shonen.
Yeah.
And so you only can watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff on WB or whatever.
Yeah.
Pokemon as well.
Which is interesting that Pokemon, you know, there's something as I know I might catch some flack for this, but as basic as Pokemon is, it is still so many people still love it, you know, and rightfully so. But I just wish Ash would just age him up a little bit. Stop having this 12-year-old be out in these woods in this country for like 20, 30 years.
Right. I didn't really follow the story, but I was shocked that he was still the same age.
Yes, right.
20-some years later, knowing that he is trying to be the best in that in the Pokemon training world, and all these trainers are all different ages. So
yeah.
Like he definitely could just be aged up.
Yeah. Just give this dude his gym already, and just let him be.
Eventually, you're gonna age up and become stronger and stuff, with this involving his Pokemon and stuff.
Right.
Because it seemed like it's a very long, tireless thing.
That's what it seemed like, you know.
Tiring journey.
But I would want, at some point, to see the reward of that journey. Like, show me how epic Ash has gotten. Like, show me, you know, do a time skip. Have this dude be like 40 years old or whatever, and he's just like, man, he is like literally the world's best gym leader. I don't know. Do something crazy.
I mean, he finally won, though, back in 2019, was it?
Oh, he did?
2020?
Oh, okay.
Finally won.
Oh, okay.
It was recent. It was 2020, 21, or 19, one of those two. I remember hearing a bit, people made a big deal about it.
Dang, see, I ain't been on my stuff. I'm behind the times.
Yeah, so we were talking about Japanese culture and anime and all that, and like, why is it like so popular in Japan? I learned that actually there were not enough manga and anime fans in Japan, so they started to export it and started to market it towards global audience.
Okay.
Instead of just a Japanese audience.
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm not sure what anime it was or what was going on. It's probably the Ghibli Studios, B100, from what I can gather. But it made it more popular, and now it's everywhere. So, like, there's advertisements in the stores, like, there's advertisement on buses, park benches, billboards,
Man,
everywhere. It's crazy in Japan now.
they got
And all over the world too.
whole trains, anime trains. They got whole cafes. They got.
Dude, I was so shocked because when I was in Paris, when I was doing my study abroad, I saw a Naruto poster and a One Piece poster in the subways. Paris, France. I was like, yo,
Yeah, dude.
this is wrong.
Yeah.
That was back in 2014. I was like, this is crazy. I didn't know it was that popular here. It's like that means it's more popular here than in freaking in Omaha. Anyways, I know that I'm sure there are a lot of advertising like that, probably in New York or something.
Yeah.
Subways and stuff. I wouldn't. Well, our city is not that big here in Omaha, so.
I know. And yeah, we just don't have a lot of. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of public spaces like that we can kind of
Right.
nerd out in, you know. But
Yeah, but that was crazy though, and so now it's like in Japan. So part of the anime culture is cosplay.
oh yeah, yes.
But the crazy thing about Japan though is there's still a mixture of the traditional ways and the modern ways. So you can't tell somebody just doing it because of anime or because of the culture. Like we're wearing a kimono,
Yeah.
like the traditional kimono stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like, are you doing that because you saw it in one of your favorite animes? Because you look young, or is it because your parents and stuff are just traditional like that, and they're like, no, we're wearing this still.
Yeah.
Part of our
Yeah.
and the different theme parks that happen, just like how Disney is huge in America. So there's Disney World, Disney like Adventure Park, and cruises. So they have anime themed restaurants, theme parks. Like there's a Pokemon World, I believe. I know there's a One Piece type thing as well. I don't want to call it a theme park, but it's kind of like a theme park. But it's very small to be called a theme park, though. More like a fair.
To be honest, I mean the theme. You know, I think I could see it being called a theme park.
Oh yeah, because it's one thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, and there's like the merchandise is crazy.
Yes. I was just thinking about getting some decals for my car, to be honest. I love when I'm driving around and I see a sticker or decal or whatever, and it's just a random symbol, but I'm like, that's Full Metal Alchemist. I know where that's from. That's the Ouroboros tattoo. I know that. Or maybe it's like the Sharingan or whatever is anime related. I'm like, I know where that's from.
Right, and I'm not sure if this was influenced by anime or anime just was reflecting the culture that was already existing, but a lot of maid cafes as well.
Yeah, maid cafes where the servers dress up in maid outfits, and they're a little bit like Hooters, but a little classier than Hooters. They're sexy maid outfits, but they might got a little bit of cleavage. But
yeah, so that's huge in Japan now, and now that anime has spread so much and far that it's one of their like top 3 exports, I believe.
I believe it.
In the top 10 for sure. Top 10 exports of Japan is anime.
And still to this day, really Japan is. I know some anime is coming out of China, starting to now, but I haven't heard of anime from really any other country, to be honest. I wish there were, but.
Well, Solo Leveling is a Korean.
Oh, that's Korean. Okay.
It was a webtoon in Korea.
Okay.
They're called manhwas, I believe, but it is a Japanese studio that's making it though.
Gotcha.
Because the characters are all speaking in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting. Well, then that's interesting because now it's like it's Korean because it was, produced in Korea, but Japanese animators. So is it?
Yeah.
Still, That's interesting.
That's the same with Ruby in high school. What's that? High school? What is that? God of High School.
Oh, okay. That one's on my list too. But
yeah, God of High School. That was Korean.
Okay.
But it was Japanese voice actors when the anime was actually done.
I wonder why they don't do Korean voice work. Or maybe they do
right?
for Korea.
But they got their own animation stuff, but not in the anime form though. I know there's a lot of cartoons and stuff that they do, just like everywhere. They all have their own, and so they have voice actors.
Yeah.
But not say Ruby because remember I had showed you that recently there was like because Ruby was American made, but it was by American Japanese.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it wasn't done really in that style because it was very a small budget project. But it was done by a studio in Japan and with Japanese voiceovers. It was like the main story, but kind of shortened down to a side story. Like it starts off like it's the main, like from the actual. Now everybody who's a Ruby fan calls it anime though, even though it's not it was not made in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was in English originally and all that. But it became so big everywhere that like recently it was released in 2021 or 22. It was the anime actually Ruby, so good. Called Ice Queen or something like that. Ice Queendom. Yeah, Ruby Ice Queendom.
Okay.
So they have all the characters from the one that was made here in America in the animation style, Japanese animation style, and
got you.
It was clean. It was clean. Japanese voice actors, all that. I was like, oh.
Got you. See, I see you. Well, to that point, when it gets quote unquote anime-ified, it just makes it better. It's just like, ooh, Japanese voice work. Okay, let's go. But because there's something about I'm a dub person, but there's something about the sub. I'm both. I don't really care. But that Japanese, I don't know, voice, that tone of voice that they can just get you. Their emotional punch and like even the comedy sometimes in Japanese is like watching One Piece. It just sounds so crazy because the voices are all like so weird. But
right, they do it better. They have a science to it because the voice actors that are the main Japanese voice actors for One Piece characters, they actually did the dub over for the live action.
Nice. Okay.
So the original cast did the dub over for the live action, and I actually like that better than when I had watched. And I hate watching dub stuff. Yeah. Because the lips don't match.
Right.
But in Japanese voice actors, they matched. So the writers, when they're translating, they'll do it to the best of their abilities, and then they'll give it to the voice actors. But the voice actors, they're so professional, been doing it so long, that they will match even the grunts and all that. Like the pauses, how we only be like, all of them, matching it perfectly.
See.
And I'm just like, I wonder if it's sounding, does it translate and make sense in Japanese though?
Right. Yeah.
From when it was English. Because how did they do that?
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's a level of detail that I wish more of those types of movies and shows did, because it's like that's what wins over One Piece fans when you do stuff like that. It's like, this is the original cast? I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah. And already the graphics and stuff look fine. Those are great. When you add that into it too, the voice work. Like, come on, that's primo. That's perfect. Yeah. It was crazy. And then there was another project that the Japanese did. They had collaborated with, it was a Thai or Vietnamese puppet show that they do in their country. And it's a traditional thing where they have these very, like, I wouldn't say lifelike, but they're really big puppets. And they have a level of detail in the artistry that it almost seems like it's an anime, but not. Yeah. You can tell that it's like you see the gloss and all that on it, on the painting on the these wooden puppets, and the way they just move and all that is crazy. And so they did an anime type thing with it, where they had to build the entire 3D set, looking realistic and all that, having smoke blow up. The special effects is wild, and they were just saying how they had to keep translating from Thai to Japanese because
it was a company that built these puppets in Thailand, and then it was a Japanese animation studio with voice acting and all that, and they had to like do the writing and translate it back and forth to tell so that the puppeteers could move the mouth.
Yeah.
And then the voice actors had to match the mouth movements of the puppets and all that. It's on Crunchyroll. It's really cool.
And what's it called again?
Let me look it up. I forgot the name of it. It's crazy though.
Because I'm gonna have to find that. Because I love, it's like the past, I don't know, few decades, a lot of our media has just been so digital, and it's just been more and more digital, like to the point where CGI, and even though CGI is getting a lot better, and even 3D anime is getting a lot better nowadays, where you can't almost tell that it's 3D, even though I feel like I can still tell. But when you have something like what you're talking about, where it's like live action, it's real person, but it still kind of blends a little bit. It's like I love that more hands-on. Kind of.
It's crazy. It's called Thunderbolt Fantasy.
Okay.
Thunderbolt Fantasy. The action scenes and sound effects, like special effects that are the like practical special effects where they actually do it in life.
Yeah.
Like they put so much work into it. I got to see the behind the scenes because it's like a pre-episode of the behind the scenes, and then it gets into it. I'm only on like episode 2 or 3 though, because that's one of those where I have to be really locked into. Yeah, because it's so bizarre. Like my mind really has to be locked in to like comprehend what's going on and stuff. But it's cool.
It's one of those where you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And see,
but it's really cool.
And see that this gets back to this does look good. That gets back to what is anime, because you were talking about earlier, Ruby being made in the U.S. Japanese U.S. Japanese animators, and there's definitely some other ones. The one that I thought of was Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is like the poster child for what is anime. Is this anime? Is this not anime? Because it definitely has a lot of those tropes in it, but it's and I found out that a Korean studio were the ones who did it, but it's American produced, and so it's like, so since a Korean studio did it, is it Korean animation? Is this like what technically is this, and so it's like, but of course the show still has a lot of anime kind of stuff in it, so it's like, does animation from a different country besides Japan but still fits into Japan's kind of version of anime, is that still, does the anime community still accept that as anime? And also just what, content wise, what is anime? And so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because a lot of animes, especially the styles, they have the tropes of, like, if somebody's really nervous, they're sweating all over.
The
very
stereotypical, droplet of bead, droplet of sweat. Yeah, or when they're angry, the X on their forehead, their vein popping out. Yeah. Or if they're like blushing or embarrassed, it rises up. Like the red rises up in their steam or something. Or if they have a perverted thought, the nosebleed. Yeah. Or if somebody's talking about them.
That's to the extreme.
Right.
But Sanji, oh my god, Sanji, so annoying. Having a 2-year time skip. I was like, what is this man? This blasting off.
Yeah, this dude blasting off again. Like, where's the little ting at the end? Like, this is crazy. Him and Master Roshi.
He was definitely a part of Team Rocket.
Right.
He was down bad.
Right. Dude, hella down bad.
He was about to lose his life.
And don't care. Happily would lose his life. If it's a fine woman killing him, he would not care. That is a happy death for him.
Yeah. He was mentioning the freaking, because going back to the tropes and all that, of like storyline, of why anime is so diverse and why so many grown people are going towards it, and it's not just cartoons. And And the reason why some of these cartoons that are made in America or in other countries are being categorized as anime is because a lot of the animes, they have like this tendency to really go deep and challenge certain things.
Yeah.
Like they put in a lot of, like for plots, right? They challenge the life values, the morals. They tackle social issues.
Personal issues.
They kind of do the whole traditional versus modernization. And they blend those so well too, because there's a lot of animes where it would be fantasy, right? Be futuristic, but they still have that traditional thing of having some type of festival or a New Year's type tradition, going visiting the shrine or something.
Or even their style of dress. Like it can be a futuristic show, but they will still wear their, I think they're called, their kimonos and their more traditional dress, and even the way they talk, they still honor and respect Japanese culture.
Exactly.
Like even though they have exported it to the rest of the world, they're like, hey, this is still Japanese form. This is still Japanese culture. When you watch our stuff, you're going to get a dose of Japanese culture. And they are not afraid to maintain that,
So that's one of the tropes. And another trope is like when they're having some type of, like, the protagonist or whatever, they always have to tackle some type of failure, and it's lingered on about. It's not just one episode, and then you're on to the next thing. Like the ones that are very impactful. So those are usually in the yoseis or seinen and shonen and shoujo, like the teens and up. Like they'll show the main protagonist go through something super traumatic, as in like failure on their own mistake that's irreversible. Or like some type of tragedy that's happening to people around them that they felt that they could have prevented the loss. And then they'll linger on those feelings and go through that emotional type of train of thought and watch them get through it, build up their character through it, and become better. And it's not just one-off episode, like a lot of the, like, we'll categorize cartoons do.
Right.
Because most of the cartoons here in America that are for adults, there's not one storyline. It's just a bunch of random stuff happening, and they just have a bunch of adult themed jokes.
Yes.
It's not really drama or anything.
More geared towards comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for anime, when they are gearing things towards adults, that drama's there.
Yes, exactly.
High stakes are there.
Yeah.
And there's one goal across the entire storyline, but in each episode there's like these sub-stories, plot stories or whatever, beeline stories or whatever, that can get resolved, that is still progressing them towards their ultimate goal.
And it supports the main plot line. And also, so a really good anime that'll allow the support characters and the side characters to shine through as well. And to another hallmark of anime is just the roster of characters in each show. And it's not usually just the main character, but it's them and their support around them. And there's usually quite a few characters. And even those characters will have tropes themselves. So there's always like the nerdy dude with the glasses who's always pushing them up, or there's who's always like quiet and shy or whatever. He's always to himself. There's always the emo kind of gloomy, he has raven hair, or he's always solemn and stays to himself, the lone wolf, whatever. There's always like the outgoing, loud, which is usually the main character. Not so much anymore because Deku's not, but there's always that loud, boisterous bully kind of character. And so there's always, and of course the busty kind of slim waist, really big booby, or even the really straight board, flat chested, shy, like wallflower. And it's like, okay, sometimes it can be like, okay, come up with some new characters, but if done well, you don't pay attention to that too much. But that's also something I really like. Well, so going back to what you were saying, is that the anime attempts to give its audience characters that you can relate to. Like there's always somebody within an anime that you yourself relate to. That's why there's all these different character tropes, because there's always somebody who's maybe not as, like, take My Hero and take Midori as a main character. Usually we're used to Luffy or Naruto or Goku, or just strong. I know what I want, I know how to go about doing it, but Midori's more of a softie, so it's like I like to find characters like that I can really
say it with your chest, boy.
Right.
I want to be a hero.
Right.
Say it with your chest.
Right. Right.
I want to be a hero.
But just the way anime shows how the character goes through those challenges, and it's really so anime. A lot of animes have like life lessons just built into them, so it's like you get to see how this character deals with that situation. And okay, yeah, he has this fantastical ability that he can like level a mountain with to solve his issue, but okay. But you can draw that, hey, he worked hard for this ability, he got through whatever he was, if he can do it, I can do it too. It's pretty much. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been some times where I'm like, hey, look, if Naruto can sit on a freaking whatever he was sitting on when he was in the sage mode, gathered when he was in the frog
he was on a motor underneath the waterfall.
That's yes. If he can do that for however long he was sitting there gathering sage mode chakra, I can get through this test, or I can get through whatever homework, or I can get to whatever at work, meeting or whatever. So it's like, that's, for me, that's what I see is the draw for so many people, is like, hey, you come to anime really for therapy a lot of times. Whether it's helping you escape from what you're going through in life, or whether it's you're drawing inspiration from what you're watching, it's more than just like watching SpongeBob or watching, whatever other cartoon they got going on these days,
Yeah, and also you was just talking about how there's so much inspiration in life lessons, right? So what's the most impactful thing to your life from an anime?
There is one. It might take me a minute to while I'm thinking about mine. Did you have one off the top of your head for you?
Yeah, so it's definitely from One Piece. You already knew this.
Yeah.
It was a quote.
Got you.
And that really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was from Even Cove, the emperor for the Queen Baka kingdom, or queendom.
Mm-hmm.
So what he said was, miracles only happens to those who don't give up.
Dang. That's a good quote. Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, so you got to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And then, like, that miracle will happen.
Yeah. It's along the same lines of stay ready so you don't got to get ready, or, just positioning yourself to be able to receive, when opportunity does come. Like, hey, you never know. You can't tell the future. You never know what might happen, but you got to never give up. You can't,
Right.
Yeah. And to me, giving up doesn't mean, so like, say for instance, if you're trying to start a business and the first one fails, that just means, okay, either you rework your business plan, try to do a different business, or try to change your product, think about why it failed and keep going, if that's for you, if that's your passion, don't let failure keep you from moving forward. It's pretty much, and that's powerful, dude. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, that's the whole theme of One Piece is bouncing back, like rubber.
I see.
Luffy always bounces back.
That's dope. See, you just saying that just now solidified that for me, because that I did not even think of it that way. And just thinking about even his whole journey through the Grand Line, through all of it, is just like, hey, look, no matter what, this is my goal. No matter what,
You still haven't thought of one?
But I haven't, but I know it's there, because I know I've seen stuff that has like really impacted me. But for some reason, I don't know why I can't recall it. But I think
I'm gonna plan some more about One Piece then. That bounce back Luffy.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Spin the Block himself. That man do not give up. If he missed you once, he got knocked down once, he coming back again.
Like, right.
Like, that man has, so all the people who Luffy have beaten. The first person we really thought that Luffy should not beat in, but have been able to beat was Crocodile. That was the first one that was kind of like, Crocodile was at such a high level that there was no way Luffy should beat him.
That is another thing where it's like, this enemy is OP. There is no way. Yeah. There's no way.
But honestly, Luffy lost to Crocodile twice very easily. Like, snuffed him out. It's just that Luffy came back that third time. Rocked him. He learned his weakness.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
The Devil Fruit weakness.
Yeah.
Yep, so it was a miracle. And then the other people, like, he beat without Haki and stuff. It was always, they exposed the weakness of the Devil Fruit.
I think I would say, as I've been thinking about it, for me, I don't think it's necessarily one anime that has impacted me, but I'm a night owl, and I do things based on like my level of comfort and stuff. I guess I'll just say I have comfort anime is what I'll say. So like sometimes I'll just put on an episode of Trigun just because I just want. It's nostalgia, I know, but it's just something about it that just makes me feel. I don't know, dude. It's weird to say, but it just makes me feel a little more complete. I don't know how to say it any better. A little more, I don't know. It's just like something that's just comforting. I'll just say that. But so I'll have shows like Trigun or every once in a while Cowboy Bebop, just because it's a nice
I knew you were about to say that. Cowboy Bebop.
Because it's just such a nice chill. It's one of those shows you just put on and chill. You can fold clothes. You can do whatever you want and come back. Have you missed a whole bunch? Not really. But it'll still have action. It'll still have, something you can kind of watch and get into a little bit. But it's like just like something nice in the background to kind of put on.
Yeah. It's that bebop. That's why. The jazz.
Yeah.
The bebop jazz thing soundtrack.
Yeah.
Too smooth.
I would say otherwise Avatar, The Last Airbender, whether you classify that as anime or not, if I'm going by the traditional Japanese definition of anime, just as something that's animated, I would say it's Avatar. And like every time I watch it, there's moments that I've seen this show 1,000 times, but I'll still tear up. Like every time Iroh sings Leaves from the Vine, I will tear up. Every time,
I have that on my snooze playlist.
Really? See? I do not blame you,
Leaves on the vine, falling so slow.
Just seeing, just seeing even Zuko's relationship with him. There's just so many things in that show, in those 3 seasons, that every time I just keep revisiting just the different. It's so rich to me that I just that's the show for me that has impacted my life. Impacted my life. I just mean it has made an impact on me every time I watch it. It's amazing. And it's like there's no cursing in it. There's no blood in it. There's no abundance of gore. There's no sex scenes. Like it's such a wholesome show, but it's still something that literally everybody can watch, and it's still literally so engaging that I'm like, no, this, to me, it's perfect. To me, it's not perfect in that it doesn't have any flaws, but perfect in that literally anybody can pick this up and watch it and really enjoy it. Yeah,
we're gonna have to do a podcast of the anime that are not really anime.
That too. Yeah, because some of them are done really, really well. Yeah.
And usually it's the ones that have like a overarching plot line that's happening.
Yes,
And you can see it, and it's following up, like, it's progressing. There's only one that doesn't do that, though, and that is, some people call it anime since it was purposely designed in a Japanese anime style, and that's Boondocks.
Oh, yeah. See, for me, Boondocks doesn't have enough, like, I can't really speak to Boondocks that much, because I actually haven't seen that much of it, like all of it. I should watch all of it, but from what I have seen, it has enough of anime stuff in it that I'm like, if you add in just a little bit more, you really could classify this as an anime. You really could. because I'm thinking of the dodgeball episode, or at least that dodgeball clip.
So,
and there's even more clips of like Huey and dang, what's the other one's name?
Riley.
Yes, Riley. They'll like be doing fighting stuff, or like the grandpa, and he's got his belt. Like there's anime stuff in it, but I'm like, oh man, if just a little bit more. But I could see that being classified as an anime. I could, if there was black anime, that would be it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so mostly you've been impacted by anime because it's more of a comforts. Mm-hmm. Like that's your comfort zone. That like when it's getting rough or something, or you just need to chill out.
Yeah, dude.
Have a break.
Yeah.
Like you just put on those animes: Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yeah, or even stuff like Ergo Proxy. Like it's like when you're stressed out about responsibilities or life or whatever else, like those just seem to be my go-tos because there's some emotional aspect to them that just kind of I don't know, lets me just kind of release and like let go, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's not like there's anything
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. I hear you, and I get it, because I have those too that I will just I'll rewatch.
Yeah.
That's One Piece for me. There's a lot of arcs that I'll just rewatch because it was so good. And then there was times when, like, if I can't sleep or something, and the music's not helping me, I'll just put on an episode of One Piece.
Exactly.
One floor, and I'm
just a random episode. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm cool, and so it's just it's like really
But also, I think also, as I think about it, like a lot of these newer animes are just anime evolves, anime changes and adapts and stuff, and so the style nowadays, the style of art, the style of writing, the style of content, humor, like all of that action, all that is different from what it was when I was growing up. And so for me, I think I know this is part of that nostalgia, but I think it's because like when I watch Trigun, I know I'm going to get, choked up at this moment that Vash is like, trying not to kill this person, but he still has to save this person's life. And it's like this really epic moment of Vash trying to balance all this stuff and still hold on to his morals, but at the same time trying to save this person, but at the same time trying not to kill the bad guy. And it's like, oh man, like this is something that I'm not really getting in this newer anime that's just kind of more about the flashiness and just about the cool fight scenes, and like they don't really and so it's like I think I keep going back to those.
One of the newer big three though that people are saying is big three. I haven't watched enough of the new stuff to be categorizing what big three it is. But My Hero Academia right now in the manga, that's going on.
Okay.
What you just said, trying not to kill the main bad.
Yeah.
But also trying to save everybody else, and the only way you can save everybody else is kill the main bad.
Yeah. Are you talking about Tomura Shigaraki?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I don't know if it's the voice acting, or there's something about My Hero that's still I've learned that I have aged out of that demographic, and I do still enjoy My Hero. Dee doesn't. She craps on My Hero.
Have you guys been watching it in dubbed?
In dubbed, yeah. She I think she even stopped watching after like the third season. I think she's like pretty much done with My Hero. I've tried to keep up with it more or less. I haven't watched or read the manga lately, but when I do watch it, it usually is in dub just because I'm lazy. But there's just something. Like I said, I think it might be the voice acting, or I think it might be the new kind of anime tropes nowadays. Maybe Deku just isn't as fleshed out as I want him to be. I don't know what it is exactly that hasn't resonated with me so much with My Hero. But like you said, they do have that struggle. I'm thinking of a particular fight scene when Tomura, I know this is spoilers, maybe it is, but like he's like full on got his abilities waking up, and it's just like literally everybody is attacking this dude at the same time. Like they are holding this dude down, and he is still able to punch through somebody's wing or whatever and flick this anti-quirk medicine into Eraserhead, and I'm like, there is no way on God's green earth. Like, what? This dude is still a human. How is this possible? But
I don't even remember that part at all.
no, there's. Hopefully, I didn't spoil it. I don't even think that's really a major spoiler.
No, it's not spoiler. I've seen it all. I'm just saying I don't remember it. I think that's the time when actually he cut off his arm so it wouldn't spread to everywhere.
Yeah, and I know that episode is old now, but I'm just thinking of that kind of scene. But there's, like I said, I think it's just nostalgia for me. So yeah, well, I think we're coming up on like 3 hours.
Oh shoot!
This
you
might
gonna
have
have
to
some
be
fun cutting this out.
yeah.
Huh?
This might have to be a 2-parter, like part 1 and split into part 2, which is fine. We can get 2 episodes out of this. That's cool.